New Braunfels tops a lot of lists these days, including fastest growing city in America, which means more people are moving to New Braunfels. In fact, 20,000 people moved here in the last 3 years alone, which means that prices are going up in New Braunfels. So is New Braunfels even an affordable city to live in anymore? Well, today we're going to answer that. We're going to do a deep dive and compare New Braunfels' cost of living to the national average. We're going to compare it to the major cities around New Braunfels, and we're going to compare New Braunfels' cost of living to the major cities where people are coming from. When you consider affordability, you're looking at the big ticket items here, like homes, property taxes, taxes in general, food, healthcare costs, energy costs, and transportation costs like gas. All right, so let's see how New Braunfels stacks up to the national average. The median price of a home in the United States right now is around $412,000. The median price of a home in New Braunfels right now is well below that at $325,000. And housing costs is the biggest component, the biggest factor in cost of living in New Braunfels. Happily comes in well below the national average. And if you're going to be below the national average, below average in something, that's the category you want to be below average in. But healthcare in New Braunfels, on average, is 1.1% higher than the national average. Here's the eyebrow-raising response we get from families that reach out to us when it comes to property taxes. Many of you are coming from areas where your property tax rate is 1% or below 1% of the assessed value on your property. In New Braunfels, our tax rates range anywhere from 1.69 all the way up to 2.7 of the property's assessed value. So just a heads up there, but we do have in New Braunfels and in Texas several homestead exemptions that will bring down your property taxes. And if you land in the boundaries of one of our school districts in New Braunfels, you get an additional local school homestead exemption of 20%. Did you know that you don't have to pay for, hey, before we get to that, make sure to hit that subscribe button right there, because every week we're putting out relevant and timely information just like this about what it's like to live in New Braunfels. Did you know that you don't have to pay for state income tax in Texas? In fact, it's one of only a few states in America that gives families that break. So while you may pay a little bit more for property taxes in Texas, depending on where you're moving from, you're not paying state income tax. Moving on, New Braunfels is also below the national average when it comes to food, energy, and transportation costs. How does New Braunfels stack up against Austin and San Antonio's cost of living? First, San Antonio. The median price of a home in San Antonio right now is below $300,000. That's $30,000 less than the median price of a home right now in New Braunfels city limits. That's a big savings. Food, grocery prices are 2.1% lower in San Antonio compared to New Braunfels. Healthcare is almost 7% lower in San Antonio compared to New Braunfels. But the commute in San Antonio is 21% higher compared to New Braunfels. Homeowners, this one's for you. Property taxes on average are $600 lower on the median price of a home in San Antonio compared to New Braunfels. And your electric bill in San Antonio is 2.7% lower compared to New Braunfels. Now let's compare New Braunfels' cost of living to Austin's cost of living. The median price of a home in Austin right now is around $440,000. New Braunfels, as we told you earlier, is $325,000. Rent prices in New Braunfels are 32.3% lower than in Austin. Restaurant prices in New Braunfels are 10.9% lower than in Austin. Grocery prices in New Braunfels are 19.5% lower than in Austin. And gas in New Braunfels is 4.1% lower compared to Austin. So on average, Austin's cost of living is more expensive than New Braunfels' cost of living, and on average, San Antonio's cost of living is less expensive than New Braunfels' cost of living. In both cases, both outcomes are determined by the biggest cost of living factor, the price of homes. All right, so let's open this up right now and compare New Braunfels' cost of living to places many of our families and many families are coming from. And many families are coming from California. But since there's so many cities in California we can compare cost of living to, let's just compare state to state. California cost of living versus Texas cost of living. In Texas, it's well documented. You get a lot more bang for your buck. And let's look at the study that says that in California, you'll pay 50% more than the national average cost of living. In Texas, you'll pay 7% less than the national average. The big ticket items here: housing, taxes, groceries. The median price of a home in California is bordering on $900,000 right now. The median price of a home in Texas is $345,000. That's a just a Grand Canyon gap of over $500,000, which is why we see many families moving from California to New Braunfels, purchasing homes with ease, and some of those families picking up 1 or 2 investment properties as well. Again, your income is tax-free in Texas, not in California. Grocery prices in Texas are 21.1% lower than grocery prices in California. Healthcare is always going to vary individual to individual. So this number reflects the average cost. The average cost of health insurance per month in Texas through the year 2022 was $424 a month. It was $417 a month in California. Transportation, gas, the average cost of a gallon of gas in California is around $4.67 right now. The average cost of a gallon of gas in Texas right now is around $2.79. Whether you live in an area where your cost of living is lower than New Braunfels or higher than New Braunfels, in both cases, I hope that this video helps you evaluate your decision to move here. And if you are thinking about moving to New Braunfels, of course, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, thank you so much for watching our videos, and we'll see you on the next one.